The bottom line with the used or older RV is that it's going to take some work. You know, you're going to have to work on it to get it up to where you want it to be, and then it's going to take yearly maintenance to keep it going and keep it healthy. You know, you don't expect to buy a house and expect it to maintain itself. You're going to have to maintain it, and that's where having these skills to do it can save you so much, and it can actually be pretty rewarding in the long run. I know there's a small subculture on YouTube. Some of them have actually a pretty big following, but if you could probably see into their audiences, they're just people trying to live vicariously, you know, through the video makers' lives. There's a few guys that buy older RVs and they can't work on anything. Every time something breaks down, they beg for money and hope you know, somebody sends them money. And the people sending them money, you know, it's hilarious. I think they just want to believe that something is free, like they can just buy an old RV and, you know, travel the world. You know, to me it's like modern bum living. That's what it should be called. If you're going to own an older RV, you got to learn to work on it. You got to have the skills to keep it going. If you guys remember from my last RV vid, I did the dually brakes, seals, and bearings, which is somewhat of a difficult job if you've never done it before, and that's why I did the vid, in case someone needs the help. And I said I wasn't going to do a vid on the front disc brakes because those are so easy. It only take me 20 minutes, and there's enough vids up on YouTube. Well, famous last words. It was actually pretty difficult, and I wish I would have done a vid about it, but here's the outcome of it and some of the jobs that I've done this year on the RV. You know, I find mechanic work, you know, pretty straightforward if you're careful and methodical about it. It's pretty easy. None of this stuff has been real challenging for me, and I just take my time and go at it. I don't use the RV all the time, so I can, you know, work on it one day and come back 2 or 3 days later if I want to, if need be, you know. So it's pretty easy work if you have a mind for it. In this case, it was really challenging. The first thing that happened when I changed out the disc brakes is this caliper locked up on me. So even on a 5 or 10 minute test ride, I could tell right away it was locking up, it was not releasing. And you can see that it actually burnt away. The seal almost started on fire. When I took the calipers off, I noticed that, really dumb, but somebody just changed one side. They must have had problems. And so these are the kind of things you run into on a used or older vehicle. No big deal, right? I saved the brakes, actually weren't ruined, so I took the calipers off, ordered some new ones. And these calipers look exactly like these calipers, don't they? But not the case. They actually mount up the same. If you look carefully, they're a little bit different. And I don't know, they mounted on there. I thought maybe there was a small change, but it came to be that these do not work. So I got these calipers. I burnt my old caliper up, got the wrong calipers because Dodge probably, or I should say Midas, the RV manufacturer, probably bought 10 or 12 1977 platforms and released them in 1978 and called them a 1978 RV. But in fact, there was a slight change from 1977 to 1978 in the brakes for Dodge. So even though these look alike, they're not the same. So if I'm ordering parts for a 1978, I actually need parts for a 1977. And you'll even run into this with manufacturers in modern day. Sometimes there's very small changes from year to year, and even sometimes within the same year. And you're just going to run into these problems. So what should have took me, you know, 20 minutes to change some brake pads ended up taking me a week to finally get it right and figure it out. It was really hard once I had put these on, painted them up, put them on, was all excited, and then my brake pedal went to the floor because the hydraulics in them they're just not the same. These are the correct calipers for my RV. They're 1977 Dodge calipers for my 1978 RV. We're going to make them fast and furious red for my hot rod Dodge. Professional and tactical. Nice. As long as I was replacing the whole lower brake system, I just went ahead and added a new master cylinder and power booster as well. It was only another $100. That way the whole system's done. If you own an RV, you're going to have to learn how to caulk, especially an older one like this. It's just part of maintenance. Even putting strips of caulk on top of fixtures just keeps things nice and dry. And this year it wasn't really a planned event. I just started caulking up some of the windows and ended up caulking everything on the RV. I used several different kinds of caulk, and I think I'll make a separate vid about that, just showing you what worked for me and what I thought was the best. This is the only correct way to caulk your windows, unfortunately. You got to tape everything off, and it's not a science, but it's definitely an art. I found this RV roof storage pod for sale on Craigslist for 60 bucks. These are usually like 450 bucks, $500. The guy that was selling is retired. He was redoing his roof and decided to take the pod off. He's too old to get up on the roof, he said. The only thing that I found wrong with it was some hairline stress fractures here, 2 of them, right by this hinge. I figured it was hyperextended at one time. He was not aware of it. So I offered him 50 bucks and got it. And the same skills I used to restore that canoe, even with the same scrap material I used on the canoe, I was able to easily fix those cracks. And that's a nice addition, especially for a smaller RV like mine. It's nice to have the secured storage. This is a little 12-volt RV fan that fits inside the vent above the refrigerator. I don't know if you can see those coils down there, but when you have the refrigerator on, you want that fan on because it moves the air across those coils and keeps the refrigerator from burning itself up. This one was shot. It was really noisy and driving me nuts. It was that way when I bought it. And I went to go buy one, and they're like 30 bucks at the RV store. So I made a note to myself not to buy anything at the RV store because that's ridiculous. I found one of these $3 old computer fans, and I put that in instead. It's really nice. Moves a lot more air and very quiet. I mean, that thing is almost completely silent. Moves a lot more air. I always hated the mirrors on this rig. They were like these cheap little chrome mirrors you get from Walmart, just about useless. So I found these mirrors in one of the many Sportsman's Guide magazines that I get in the mail, and they're brand new military truck mirrors. And I think they're like 13 or 14 bucks. They're on sale in the catalog right now again. So I picked up a pair of them. They're really nice. I love them, and they're useful. Very cool. As far as I can tell, this is the original awning that came with the rig, and when I first got it, there were some very small pinhole leaks that used to drip just on this gray section that attaches to the RV. And I hit it with some flexible rubber coating from Leak Seal, and it held up fairly well. And I think I'm going to take it a step further and just coat the whole thing with white, just to dress this up and reinforce that section even some more. I do know it'll fill those pinholes, but if anything, it just looks better. My old wastewater valve assembly was just getting brittle and cracking with age. It was missing a handle. It actually had cracked near one of the valves. I'm not sure if it was cracked when I got it or if it cracked after I got it. I hit it with some of that Leak Seal, and that did work. But I just decided this year to order a new one off eBay. I got one for 30 bucks. Put that on. So now it's brand new. Super nice. I do not like leaks, but I especially don't like leaks in this area. So now I got 2 nice tight valves. It's all put in, and I decided with the rest of that Flex Seal that I would coat my gray water and black water tanks just to give it a little more insurance, because this plastic's getting old too, and it can develop hairline cracks. This works great for that. At the end of the season last year, I flushed out the hot water heater, emptied it, get it ready for winter, got all the sand and grit out of it, and the diode that was in there was just nothing left of it. Is the one that I got with when I bought the rig. It was just a skinny little stick, so I bought a new diode. And flushing your hot water heater out and making sure the diode is healthy is one of the cheapest things you can do just to make your hot water heater last a long time. I always drain all the tanks and blow out all the lines at the end of the season, but for the first tank of the year when I start the new season, I always throw in a half a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, and I pretty much treat all my camping H2O stuff like that. Hydrogen peroxide will freshen everything up and just kill everything in there, clean out the tank. I upgraded the tail lights yet again, put some more LEDs on the very edge of the bumper platform. Main reason behind that is I just got tired of playing Jenga with equipment, you know, always trying to make a hole so people can see the tail lights. This way I can stack up as much junk as I want there, or whatever I want to carry, and you're going to be able to see the turn and brake and parking lights. Second reason, you know, I live in a world full of cell phone zombies that, you know, cannot put their cell phones down. So I'm hoping this is just a little extra insurance when I'm driving. I like these because they're LED and they're low profile. But you're supposed to drill a hole through whatever you're mounting it to and then run the wire through there. In this case, that would be my bumper, but I like to store my wastewater hose in there, so I didn't want that kind of conflicting with each other. So what I did is I just took a little file, made a little hole there, and then put some shrink wrap on the 3 outlet wires, and I'm just going to run it like that, and then run the wire underneath the bumper. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Even if I do pile things in front of the rear tail lights on the camper. And with all that said and done, I think it's time to start enjoying some trips.